Welcome back to the second lesson. The second lesson in Module 3 is solving polynomial equations algebraically. Graphing is by graphs, drawing. Algebraically is by equation, like writing it down. We use some formulas in this. We will look into that now. The learning objectives of this lesson are solve polynomial equations by factoring, solve polynomial equations by writing them in quadratic form, and then factoring. Factoring is very important, removing the factors, making common factors. So we will look into it in a while, and based on factoring we can differently solve as well. And then the keywords are prime polynomial and quadratic form. Quadratic form, I'm sure you know, it is x to the power 2. 2 is the highest degree. But what is prime polynomial? The polynomial which cannot be divided further. For example, you might recall some identities, say x squared minus a squared minus b squared. Okay, now you might know this, and this is a polynomial. You can uh, further break it down into a plus b, a minus b, isn't it? So now if you even multiply over here, you will get the same answer. The identities can be proved. It'll be a square minus ab over here plus ab or ba, it's the same thing. And then lastly we have minus b squared. So the middle term cancels, you will remain with a square minus b square. So this is not a prime polynomial. This is, broken down. Whereas now I will change the same thing to plus. There is no identity known. You can split this out. This is a prime polynomial. I hope you understand it, the one which you cannot divide further. Uh, so now then we will see what are the few things, important things. Now you know basic formulas of a plus b the whole squared, a squared. Just now we saw a squared minus b squared. So those are known. But you may not have come across this in general, a cube plus b cube, or a cube minus b cube. So these formulas are to be solved. It is sum of two cubes or difference of two cubes. Difference means minus. These are the two cubes. Cube is anything to the power 3. Now you must remember this formula. When it's a cube plus b cube, you must write in bracket a plus b. Then over here a squared minus ab plus b squared. Remember there is minus in both the cases, but when it is a plus b, the first term is the shorter term. A plus b is positive. Whereas in the next one, a cube minus b cube, you will have a minus b and then a squared plus ab plus b squared. So this is how we solve it. Then we will see a problem. Over here, factor each polynomial. If the polynomial cannot be factored, write prime. Now look at this. You can say x to the power 3, but you can see only y to the power 12. Can you factor it? Now over here, we just now saw the formula. X cube x power 3, then we have plus y power 3, or you can write it a cube b cube, it's fine, it's the same thing. It'll be x plus y because it's plus, and then we have x squared minus xy plus y squared. So this is the factoring, but we don't have x squared and y squared. Can we rearrange and write? If you see this first term, what is this in terms of cube? Do we have a cube root of this? Yes, 2 to the power 3 is 8. What about this 125? It's simple, 25, right? So 25, 25, sorry, not 25. 5 cube, 5 squared is 25, 5 cube is 125. So we can write this as 2x the whole cube. Okay, this will be x, 2x will be x, that's fine. But what about the next one? We have 5 cube, yes, but we don't have y to the power of a cube, right? But you can write 12 as a multiple of 4 into 3. So you can write it as y to the power 4 the whole cube. Or you can write this as 5y to the power 4 whole cube. What happens? You have to power this to the cube, right? 5 cube, and the power of the exponent always is added. Sorry, it's multiplied. When you take power and power, it's multiplied. When you multiply two powers, it's added. So over here 4 to the power 3 Don't take 4 cube. No, you have to just multiply these powers. So it'll be 12. Now you will get the question back. It's same. I have just rearranged and written this. I hope you understand. If you solve this, you will get the same. So this is how we manipulate the terms and rearrange and write. Now I can use this 2x whole cube plus 5y to the power 4 whole cube. Now I can substitute instead of x as 2x and y as 5 cube, and you can solve it up. So you can see over here the greatest. Now there are many methods. Now there is one more method I can show you in the calculator. So here what you can do is try, because we need to use the cube root, try using shift and this symbol, you'll get cube root, or you can use that by pressing shift and over here and put 3. It's the same thing. And let's press 8. Yes, we got 2. Now change this to 125. 125. For numbers, you have to use cube roots. Okay? So 5. Now this is fine, x to the power 3. But what about this 12? 12 just divided by 3. You'll get 4. So now you can easily understand this is 2x whole cube and this is 5y to the power 4 whole cube. Now you can apply the formula, the identity. So it'll be x plus y. So 2x plus 5y to the power 4. Remember, y is 5, y to the power 4. And then over here, x square, that is 2x square minus x into y will be 2x into 5y to the power 4 plus this term square. So it is power 2. Now you can simplify this further. All you need to do is square this, 4 and x squared. Here 5 times 2 is 10. Over here it's no square, it's just multiplying xy power 4. And here you get 5 square is 25 and y 4 into 2 is 8. So that is basically the answer. So this is the final answer. There's no more simplification. You can do this, but this is it. So over here, it stopped over here. So this is how just applying the identity and simplifying, just a couple of steps of simplification. That is it. So now I would highly recommend all of you try this. Pause the video now. Try it by yourself. Though it is hard, try it. Take time, try it, and then we will listen to the explanation together. I hope you have tried it by yourself. Now we will continue over here. So you can see there is 54x power 5 minus 128x square and y cube. So there is no way, even if I try this, 50 cube root, shift and cube root, 54, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting 3. And even if I do 128, sorry, 128, no. And now what can we do? Since this is the smaller number, 54, now let us try to manipulate this, 54. Okay, 54 cube root is 3.7. Now, which is the nearest cube root to this? 4 and 3. Let us try 4 to the power 3. 4 to the power 3. 64. Okay, it's more than this. It's not giving us. We need to try to take factor out of this. So always try the lesser number. Okay, sorry, I should have told always try lesser number. Whenever you see this cube root, always try to go to the lesser number, that is 3. So what is 3 cube root? 3 cube root is 27. So is there a way to make this number 54 in terms of 27? Can I split this? Yes, it is 2 times 27, isn't it? So how about I remove 2 outside and write this as 27. Okay, and then this x to the power 5 is a problem. So you can see over here x square is there. This is another odd thing. How about you remove this x square outside? So if you remove x square outside, what is remaining? 5 minus 2. How much is remaining? 5x to the power 3. Okay, this is great. Now same thing over here with 128. We don't have the cube root, but now we have removed 2. So what is 128 by 2? It'll be 64. Now try 64 cube root. Is it available? Is it there? It will generally be there. Yes, that is the thing. Now it is 4. So once you remove 2 common from this term, you must remove it from the next term. So you're remaining with 64. X squared is removed, y cube. Now this is the answer. So how do we get this? Take the smaller number, find the cube root and take the lower value and try to, find that number, this given number in terms of that number. So I need to multiply 2. 2 times 27 is 54. Now over here I can write this as 2x squared times, this is 3x the whole cube, minus this is 4 over here, 4y the whole cube. Now I can easily put the a cube, sorry, this is cube, not square, my bad. Now I can use the identity, isn't it? So I will easily use the identity and solve. Say over here, this is the simplification, factoring out, and then now I can use the identity of a cube minus b cube. And we will get this answer just like the previous one. Solve it. Now pause the video, solve it by yourself, and then check over here. Each steps are mentioned over here. This is it. Stop over here, simplify. This is the answer. So please make sure you remember the identity thoroughly and then apply a minus b, a square plus 2ab plus ab plus b square. So remember, go back to the formulas, by heart them, and then you can easily solve them up. Now we will learn factor by grouping. This is usually used when there are plenty number of terms. You can see over here in the given question, you may have to factor this and classify how it is. Now you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. But now let's look into the common or similarities. We can see the similarity in numbers, the similarity in say x squared, y squared, a and b values. So there are plenty of similarities. It is up to you to choose because ultimately the answer will be the same. Now over here, generally the easy method is, you can go with numbers. You can see 14 is multiple of 7, 28 is a multiple of 7, and 35. Whereas the remaining ones, 8, 16, 20 are multiples of 4. So we can rearrange them. 14, 28 and 35, whereas over here we have minus 8, sorry, minus 35, it was minus 8, minus 16 and plus 20. You can see over here a, b, c, x squared, x squared, x squared, and all this is y, y, y. So there is two similarities in these terms, the numbers and the coefficient and the variable. So you can remove common out. What goes in all this? 7 and x squared. So remove that common out. So when you remove this terms out, x squared and 7 is gone. You're remaining with 2a. Over here, you're remaining with 4 times 7 is 28. So 4b minus 5c. Here you can remove negative because 2 are negative. It's up to you, but it's generally good to remove. Okay, it's not generally good, sorry. Once you remove this, compare this. This and the term over here must be same. Then only you can simplify further. Now look over here. 2a, 4b is positive. These two terms must be positive. So remove the negative out. Negative 4y. So what you're remaining is with 2a, 4b, negative 5c. You can see these two terms are same. Now this is similar, like imagine this is u, term u, okay? 7x squared u minus 4yu. Can I remove this u common out? I can remove it. So I will have 7x squared minus 4y. And what is out? You can write u. So what is this u basically? That is this entire term. So what I have done over here in this last step is you're writing 7x squared minus 4y because these terms are common. So this is again factored out. Now that can be, it's basically like distributive property. Now if you keep on multiplying, you will get the back terms behind, you will get the same equation. So now just to recall again what I had done over here, these two terms, imagine they are like any term, u or a, anything. Okay, I've not used a because it's already there, or l, m, n, or anything. And now you can see these same terms are repeated, so you can remove them common out. And what is going to remain? 7x squared and minus 4y. So 7x squared and minus 4y, u is outside. So this is the answer. So this will be the final answer. I hope this is clear. Just go through the steps. It is basically, you're grouping different factors and then finally simplifying it further. So now over here, this is it. It depends on what options are given. Look into the option and stop simplifying. Now we can see about combining cubes and squares. So this is again a simple but complicated problem. Simple in the sense it's very straightforward. There's nothing much over here. You can see this can be easily rewritten, and we have x to the power 6, so they can be easily rewritten. But when you rewrite, it's gonna be square and a cube. So what I mean is, now look over here, 64x to the power 6. So we can write this as to the power x to the power 3 the whole square. Now, what is going to happen? Here, now 8 square. Okay, this is one more thing. Don't take 4 cube. Why? Because you won't be able to solve. You can see this is in terms of cube, right? In terms of square. So it'll be x3 the whole square. And there is minus sign. There is y3 the whole square. So don't keep this in terms of cube. 4 cube is 64. No, don't do that because then you won't be able to solve. So write 8 square 64 and then you will get this simplified step. Now what happens is you have the square, so apply the square formula. There is plenty of formulas over here. It is a square minus b square formula. You will get a plus b, a minus b. Okay, this is the identity. Now over here a is this 8x cube and y is y cube. So you will have to substitute over there. Now it will be 8x cube plus y cube, and over here we have 8x cube minus y cube. Now when you look at this, this is in terms of which formula? A plus a cube, the sums and differences of cubes. A plus b cube, that is a plus b a square minus ab plus b square. And then what do we have? We have a cube minus b cube, that is a minus b a square plus ab b square. So this is what happened now. You have to apply both of this again. So what is going to happen over here? A is 8x, sorry, not 8x. We need to simplify it. We can write 8 in terms of 2 cube. So it will be 2x. This will be over here. Sorry. 2x the whole cube plus y cube. Over here again 2x the whole cube minus y cube. Now you need to write over here, instead of 2x whole cube plus y cube, you need to write 2x plus y and 2x the whole square, that will be 4x square minus 2xy plus y square. So this is going to happen for the first term. Same thing with the next term. See what is going to happen over here. Sorry, this is the full term. Sorry. Now here 2x plus y, and this 2x the whole square is 4x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. Same thing with the next term. It will be 2x minus y. Again, it will be 4x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. That is the end of this lesson. This problem. Sorry. Now, this is a little bit complicated, but the terms are simple to solve. If you look at it, you'll understand, okay, to the power 6, you can cube it and square it, but then there are plenty of identities that you use. So if you know the identities, then it's just algebraic substitution and solving. Please be thorough on this identities, and then you can easily solve them up. The example 4 is to solve polynomial equation by factoring. Now you can see they have asked you by factoring. If you have to write this problem out by factoring, you need to make two terms. It's very hard to directly factor out. So split these terms. You can see the numbers 4 and 12 as 4 common, and 3 and 27 as 9 common in it, 3 or 9. So what you do is, let's combine these two terms. Let's make these two terms a group and these two terms a group. And now remove common terms from here. X square is common, yes, and 4. So here 4x square is removed out. Why? Because x square is there in both and 4 is there in both in numbers. So what does remain? 4x square is outside, so x remains, and over here 3 remains. 3 in the sense 4 is gone, so it is 12 divided by 4 is 3. X square is completely gone, so no. Now, same thing over here. Remove the negative sign out. You must get the same thing over here. Remove minus sign out. And remove 9 outside. You will get x over here. So let's see. Minus 9, if you remove it, it'll be x plus, because minus sign is out, and you will have 3. And then here, you can just, again, we have done this already in the previous section. So please pause this and go back to the previous video if you have not watched it. Now this is removed common out. I told you over there you can consider this as u, and then this u and this u is removed common out. So this is over here. What is the other side remaining? 4x square and minus 9. So that is the answer. Now it's not over. So what do we do is we need to, we can simplify this further, or you can directly equate it to 0. Over here this has been split further. How? See, this 4x square is written as 2x the whole square minus 3 square. We can use the formula ax plus a plus b, a minus b. That is 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. So this is the thing. And then over here, x plus 3. Now you need to equate, see, what over here this means is all our factors, like this multiplied by this. So this multiplied by this term multiplied by this term, you will get 0, right? What does that mean exactly? If anything is equal to 0, one of this term must be 0. So we don't know which is the 0, so equate all of them. So either this is equal to multiplied by some term and some term, so this is 0, or this can be 0, or this can be 0. So we equate all the three terms to 0. See, what we do? 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, and lastly x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now solve for x. Solve over here, it'll be minus 3 divided by 2, it'll be plus 3 divided by 2, and minus 3. So this is how we solve it directly, by algebraically. But since it is cubic over here, you can solve this directly in calculator. You can use mode, phi, and option number 4. And now look over here, 4, 12, minus 9, and minus 27 will give you the answer 3 by 2, minus 3 by 2, and minus 3. So it's the same thing. You can do the calculator method or this. But if it's in writing, you have to do this by factoring. Now, so the solutions for this particular equation are negative 3 by 2, that is 1.5, and positive 1.5. Now we will see a real world problem where we need to write and solve the polynomial equation by factoring. So they have told in the figure, the small cube is 1/4 the length of the larger cube. So it's obviously told over here 1/4 than the larger cube, this one. Okay, if the volume of the figure is 1701 centimeter cube, what are the dimensions of the cube? Now we need to know what are the dimensions x, the length and width. But what is the thing? They have told this cube, the figure is 1701. Look, this is the hollow space which is removed. This is not there, okay? So all the shaded region, blue, see, all this part is the cube. So this small portion is hollow, that is not included. So how do we find the equation for this? You can see the side over here of a cube is 4x, right? If you cube this, you'll get the volume of the entire thing, because this includes from top to bottom. So even this hollow space is added. Now you don't want that hollow space. If you do 4x cube, the whole cube is there. Now subtract x cube. Now you will get that must be equal to 1701, because that is the volume of the figure. So all you need to do is the total volume, that is 4x the whole cube minus x cube, will give you the answer. We have done this before, similar one. You can use the identities and solve over here. or you can directly simplify and solve. It's up to you. See, it's basic algebra over here. 4x cube is 64x cube. Now, sorry, you cannot solve with the identity. Here the dimensions, the variables are same, so you need to solve this. 64x cube minus x cube is 63. Now take 60 to the other side, it'll be 27. You know the cube root of 27 is 3 plus or minus, over here, no, it is 3 over here. Okay, sorry, you can do this cube root over here, both the sides, and you will get the answer. But what over here is followed is basically your taken this over here, factored it, and done this. So this is extra steps. You can reduce it even if you're writing from here directly. You can cube root, because 27 is not a big number. You can easily find the cube root. Now over here it's just that they have used the identities and all this. But all the way, even if you do this, this is ignored. Why? This is imaginary, so this is wrong. So over here directly you can tell the answer is x is equal to 3. Okay, directly you'll get the answer. It's not minus 3, it's plus 3 itself. Okay, so because cube root of 27 is, see, from over here, mode 1, shift, and this, you will get cube root of 27 as 3. See, don't think it's minus will be minus 3. It's not minus 3. Only one answer. Why? It is odd power. Only if it is even power you will have plus or minus, and it can't be minus inside the square root. Okay, so now over here, otherwise you can directly solve this from here itself in the calculator. So I mean directly from here in the calculator, so it's, you can directly solve it. The answer is 3. But what is that? X is equal to 3. Now that is this one. But what is the main length dimension of the cube? It should be 4 times 3, that is 12. So the cubes, the small cube is x is 3, but the bigger cube, the length of the bigger cube is 4x, so it is 12. So I hope this is clear. The small one is 3 and the big one is 12. So this is how we can solve this problem. You do not need to do this extra steps. You can, if you want, by using the identity, or you can directly use the calculator over here and directly get the answer 3. And if x is 3, 4x would be 12. Now we move to the last topic in this lesson, to write expressions in quadratic form. Now we must recall what is a quadratic form. Quadratic form is basically ax squared plus bx plus c. Now the goal over here is to write a, b, and c as least numbers as possible. And remember, x over here and this must be same, it's just squared. Now, can we write this in quadratic form? There is no power 2. It must be in terms of power 2, right? Now what? There is a substitution method. Now, instead of such a big number, let us write the first number in terms of square. Let this anything be there, it's fine. Then plus this whatever is there, and then the constant. Constant doesn't matter at all. This 15 or any number doesn't matter. So what do we do is look closely at this powers. It's power x power 10. So now the first term over here must be written as x power 10 and square it. Is it possible? Yes. It must be like this. This is easy part. What about the numbers? So there are various methods about the numbers. It must be simplified as possible. So there is the LCM method. You can take the LCM. Let's take LCM. Let's divide a number in both these, which goes the least number. Obviously, it starts with 1. 1 goes in both. But let's go to 2. The answer is 2 and 3. Now you can't divide further because there is no number that is divisible in both of these. So you can write 4 in terms of 2 and 2, right? Or you can write this 6 as in terms of 2 and 3. Now, in this case, what we do is write 4 in terms of 2. That is, it will be 2 squared. See, in this, you do not need to do it. It's a simple problem, direct problem. This method will be used in other situations. We will see in the next problem. Here, you just square it. 2 square, x to the power 10 the whole square. This can be written as 2x the whole power 10. I hope this is clear. So, oh no, I've written wrong. This term can be written as 2x power 10 the whole square. If you multiply the powers inside, it will be 4x to the power 20. Then what about the next term? We have to write this in terms of 2x to the power 10. What is remaining? We saw that time 3. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 15. So now you can rearrange and write this in, this is the quadratic form. Basically, imagine you assume 2x to the power 10 is equal to u. What happens? It is u square plus 3u plus 15. This is the simplified quadratic form, isn't it? So this is the answer. Basically, what I wrote over here, that's the answer. 2x to the power 10 the whole square plus 3 into 2x power 10 plus 15. That's it. Now, look at this one. This is a little tricky because, see, now the first thing is write it in the standard form. This comes first. It will be 180x to the power 8 plus 18x to the power 4 minus 28. Okay. What is the next step? We need to write in terms of x to the power 4. Okay, we know x to the power whole square. That is fine. But what next? Write Find the common factors of both. What is divisible by both? Obviously, we start with 2. It'll be 290 and over here it'll be 9. Now, 2 doesn't go in 9, so you can't use 2 because it must be divisible by both. Obviously, 3 goes, 9 goes, but which is the least number? That's 3. So over here you will have 10 times 30, so it'll be 30 times 9. Sorry, it'll be 30, yes, and over here it'll be 3. So next, what again goes is 3 again over here. So it'll be 10 times and 1 time. Once 1 is there, you can't go further because there is only 1 divisible. So you can see 3 times 3 is 6, 6 times 2 is 18. We will get this, okay? And if you multiply all, you'll get the biggest one. So now, you need to rearrange this and write. How can we write the least possible form? You can do one thing. It's up to you. It's over here. 2 times 3 is 6, right? We can get this also in terms of 6. Now, what I mean is, here, this part, you can write this as uh, 6 over here, because we can get this in terms of 6. Uh, 6 square. Okay, you need to think a little bit because you directly won't get the answer in this. Let's write this in terms of 6. And what do you multiply? 6 threes are, okay, it'll be 3 6x to the power 4. Okay, this is simplified. What about the left side over here? You need to have 6 to the power square. One second. 6 square is 36. So what is remaining after 36 over here? Sorry, how much times you have to multiply? So you can multiply over here 36 365. So 5 times 6 square. This can be written as 5 times 6 square. Do you understand this? 6 square is 36 times 5 is 180. Now I can write this 5 into 6x to the power 4 the whole square plus 3 6x to the power 4, and lastly we have minus 28. The constant doesn't matter. So this would be the answer. You can say 6x to the power 4 and x to the power 4 is common. Let me just see over here. 18 x to the power, this is rearranged and we have written over here, and then what we got 6x to the power 4 is the simplest one, so then we can easily write it. Now why over here it is 5? Because 6 power 2 is 36. Over here we got 6, right? Now over here we have to square. So what is this 6 square? 36. Now just divide it by 180. So 180 divided by 36 is 5. So write 5 outside. And then we have 6x to the power 4 the whole square. So basically we just get these terms. Now, if the options are given, it's much easier because all you need to do is simplify them and check with the option, given question. When the options are given, you have 4 options. All you need to see is this last term will be the same no matter what. And then over here, 5, 6 to the power 2 is 36, x power 8. And over here, it will be 18, x power 4 minus 28, and 5 times 36 is 180, x to the power 8 plus 18 x power 4 minus 28. This is the given question. And yes, now it's just that it's not written in the same form, just the terms are swapped a little bit. So now this is basically the answer. I hope that is clear. That is the quadratic form. Now, how do we write this one? Look over here, x square. So we must write this in terms of, the whole square must be there and x square must be there. Is it possible? X square the whole power 2 is 4. You can't write this. This is not possible really. This cannot be written as quadratic form. Why? Because x to the power 2 over here, the whole square is not x to the power 6. It's x to the power 4. It's not possible. So this cannot be written. Only few problems can be written. Not all problems can be written in quadratic form. If at all this was over here, if we add x to the power 4, then the answer would be 9x squared the whole square minus 4x squared minus 12. I hope you understand. It's just writing. But since we have 6, we cannot write that in quadratic form. Now, last one, let's solve using quadratic form. You'll understand why we write quadratic form, and it is very easy to solve that. That's why we write it. Now here, this is the given equation. All we need to do is write it in quadratic form. We have seen this plenty of times now. I hope it's clear. Now here you can write 5 into 2x square, and this can be written as 2 square is 4, 4 times 2. So 2 into 2x the whole square minus 12, just like what we have done before. Now you can rearrange and write, you can substitute 2x square as any term. You can write it as u. 2u square plus 5u minus 12 is equal to 0. See, now you can easily solve this, isn't it? Because you know what is quadratic, how to solve quadratic. You can use your calculator as well, or you can directly use the quadratic formula, or factor this out. So now over here, mod phi 3 will give us the answer for this. 2 plus phi and minus 12. What is the answers? Root 3 by 2, that is 1.5, and negative 4. So you can see the answers are 3 by 2 and negative 4 for u. But what is the value of u? U is not u itself, it's 2x squared, right? We are assuming u to be 2x squared, so we can easily solve it. Now substitute back what is u. Put over here instead of u as 2x squared and solve. You'll get the answers. So when we solve it over here, 2x squared is equal to 3 by 2. It'll be x squared is 3 by 4. Take the square root over here on both the sides. Over here, this is imaginary. This is wrong. This is the answer. Over here, this is the only true answer. Why? Because you'll get plus or minus. Over here, you get imaginary. We generally don't consider it. But since you know complex numbers, x would be square root of negative 2, or x would be square root negative 1 root 2, and negative 1 is basically I root 2. But remember to write plus or minus, because it can be either plus or minus. So this is how we can solve it. So over here we have plus root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2 root 2i minus I root 2. So like this would be easier if the options are known. If the options are not known, you need to solve it by yourself. Now there is no possible way to use calculator. We saw in the last lesson we had used a graphing calculator for this, but with the method of quadratic forms and factoring, you can solve this. So this is how you basically solve these problems. I hope this is clear. In some stages, you can use calculator. See, for example, over here, you can easily use calculator and come over here. And then over here also, you can use calculator, in fact, and get the answer. But for this, you can use calculator all the time over here as well. I'll just show you. It'll be mod phi and 3. Since over here, the coefficient is 2, there is no x term, so it's 0, and this will go to the other side. It will be minus 3 divided by 2. The answer would be root 3 by 2 and negative root 3 by 2. Same thing over here. If you want to use the calculator, it'll be coefficient of 2, 0, and this will be plus 4. Why? Because minus 4 goes to the other side. It'll be plus 4. It is root 2i or minus root 2i. I'll tell you how to write this in standard form. It'll be 2x squared. There is nothing for x, so it's 0. Minus 3 by 2 is equal to 0. You can put this in calculator. Over here, the next term would be 2x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. So the coefficients of x squared is 2, x is 0, and 4. That's how we did it. So this is how we can solve quadratic form, and basically by factoring you solve it. So that's the end of this lesson. I hope you found it helpful. Um, in the next lessons, we will continue more on polynomial equations, solving polynomial equations. Please stay tuned for the coming videos and do subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. Thank you very much.